Hey guys, I'm Pixel Dan, and this is a review of the Disney Afternoons action figures from Funko. Now, that's right, my friends, Disney Afternoons action figures. Whoa, mind blown. That is exactly how I felt a week ago when Funko dropped this news on the internet. While myself and everybody else who's nostalgic about the Disney Afternoons cartoons all just collectively freaked out at the thought of getting action figures from these classic cartoons. This is sort of like a dreamline for me. I have always wanted proper action figures of several characters, including the DuckTales characters and Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. Back in the day, Playmates Toys gave us a few figures from Darkwing Duck, and those were pretty cool, but there's a bunch of characters they never got to. So it's cool to see a whole line spanning all of the different cartoons from the Afternoons. Cool stuff. So check it out. We have got the first assortment here today, thanks to our friends over at Funko who sent these along early so we can get a good look at them. What we've got here is Duck and Darkwing Duck, both from Darkwing Duck. We've got Chip and Dale, who's packaged with zipper, by the way, from Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers. We've got Uncle Scrooge from DuckTales and Baloo from TailSpin. So it's a really cool assortment of characters from several of the Disney Afternoon shows, and you can see all of them come individually packaged on their own kind of details that represent their cartoon series. So as you can see, the DuckTales one here with the DuckTales logo. I love Scrooge and the boys all sitting in like a little minecart up there at the top, straight out of the cartoon series. And the backside gives you just a closer look of that artwork there, which is very, very cool. The Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers box has got that nice blue background with the show logo and Chip and Dale over here on the side. Looks very reminiscent of what like the DVD packaging looked like when it came out back then. And one thing that's different about their box is it actually has a cross-sell on the back, so it shows us Chip and Dale, presumably because both of these figures are in this first series. When we look over here at Baloo with the TailSpin logo with some animation artwork there, you'll notice on the backside it's just like DuckTales where it only has that artwork. And then when we look at Darkwing Duck, you'll see, again, just the artwork from the cartoon series, and one of the things that is very different here, of course, is that Duck is a limited edition chase figure. That's right, my friends. He's going to be a little harder to track down, and he does feature the little chase sticker on the front there. So the packages are great, but we want to open these up, and we want to get a closer look at the figures inside. So let's go ahead and do that right now. It's a pretty great group shot there, isn't it? Man, these guys are so much fun. So we're going to dive in and look at them individually. But before we do that, I wanted to bring in the tape measure here, just so you guys get a sense of the scale of these figures. They're definitely in that 4-inch scale, but they are all of varying height, which is pretty cool. Obviously, they're not perfectly to scale with each other, because Chip and Dale should be tiny, and Zipper should be even smaller. But I digress. This is totally fine for fitting them in as a collection. Baloo is the tallest. He's right at about 4¼ inches tall. Uncle Scrooge is just under a full 4 inches, so he's probably close to that 3¾ mark, while Chip and Dale are right at 3 inches tall, and Darkwing Duck is right at 4 inches tall. So kind of gives you an idea of what to expect as far as the scale goes. Let's go ahead and start off by taking a look at the main character from TailSpin, Baloo. Now, I'll say this about all of the figures right up front. The quality is wonderful on these. The figures are nice and solid. They got a great kind of hefty plastic feel. Now, I know when you guys think of Funko, it's real easy to immediately think of their pop vinyl figures, which are that lightweight, kind of hollowed out vinyl feel. That is not what these action figures feel like. These feel like solid quality plastic action figures, so they feel really, really great. And the paint deco is bright and colorful and nice and clean on all of these. I don't really see any bad paint mishaps across the board here, so that is really nice. So Baloo is actually really solid. He's got a bit of a weight to him there. Of course, he's got that kind of nice round tummy, and that definitely helps with it. And the articulation on these guys is all very similar. So this is what we got. The head is on a nice ball-like joint there, so it can roll all the way around to move left and right. We do also have those ball-like hinge joints at the shoulders, so you can see the arms can go out to the side, move forwards and backwards, and we just have a standard bend at the elbow there. You can actually swivel Baloo at the waist. There's a nice joint cut underneath his jacket there, so you can swivel him left and right. And then he's got the kind of weird V cuts at the legs. It works with his body shape. So obviously you can pose the legs around a little bit, but there's really only one way you can get him to stand balanced on the ground. So obviously you're not going to get crazy crazy dynamic poses out of these guys because they keep with that animated look, but the articulation is very nice and it's very tight on there, and the figures do seem to balance very well. You can see Baloo balances great and does a wonderful job of capturing the look of the character from the animated series. Now, he is one of the figures in this lineup that doesn't come with any accessories, and maybe that's because he's a little bit bigger than the rest, but I will say still a really nice looking figure. So let's go ahead and jump over to take a look at Darkwing Duck and Negaduck. Now, Negaduck is basically just a repaint of Darkwing, so let's focus mostly on Darkwing here first. The build is similar, obviously, as far as articulation and everything goes, but Darkwing Duck is a different shape. He's shorter, he's got that duck look to him there. He is wearing his large fedora with the huge bill. The plastic is actually really solid on this fedora, and it is part of the head sculpt, so the hat is non-removable. The cape he is wearing is made of a much softer, more flexible plastic. You can see I can bend it all around there, which is very nice. It is, however, glued to the figure, so don't expect to be able to take that off. It is part of the figure there. It's meant to stay on. His articulation goes as follows. He does have the same kind of joint at the head, mostly only allowing for left and right turn. You can kind of move it around a little bit, but it's not going to get you too much there. You do have the same like hinge joints at the shoulders, so the arms can go outwards, forwards, and backwards. They do have a bend at the elbow there. Nothing in the wrists or anything like that, and actually we can still turn at the bottom of the coat there, so we have a bit of a waist swivel, and then he's got those same V-cuts with the legs that we saw with Baloo. Also, with his larger duck feet, you're definitely going to want to find the right position to keep him balanced, because there's going to be moments where they're not positioned right, and he's going to be a little top heavy as a result. But all you got to do is find just the right way to kind of balance him there on your display shelf, just like that, and he actually does stand pretty flat-footed and will stay balanced on your shelf. There we go, just like that. So he comes with one accessory, being his awesome gun there. Very cool looking, got that like plunger look on the front. It's all solid black and plastic, but it's got a very cool cartoony look to it. His right hand is sculpted with the trigger finger. Just pop it in his hand just like this. Now I will notice or point out that I've noticed that it's a little loose. The first time I put it in his hand, it wasn't so loose, but it seems like it's kind of wearing out a little bit. So the gun does fall out from time to time. Now it does seem to stay in there once you find the right spot, but you'll notice like even right there, it kind of fell out after I put it in his hand. But still, it's a very cool gun. And once you get it balanced in his hand there, you can pose him around holding it, and it's pretty cool. So Negaduck, of course, like I said, he's a repaint. He's a chase variant, so that's why they made him the chase, I guess, is because he's just a repaint. You know, kind of just a monochrome version of Darkwing Duck. He's got those red eyes, which are really cool. The rest of him is exactly the same as Darkwing, just not as bright and colorful. And of course, he features even the same gun, which you can fit in his hand the exact same way. So pretty cool little setup there. Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. Yeah, this was always one of my favorites, and I gotta be honest, this is the set that I was most excited for in this particular lineup. Chip and Dale wearing their outfits from Rescue Rangers. So you got Dale rocking that red Hawaiian shirt. You got Chip kind of rocking the Indiana Jones gear. So basically, Indiana Jones, Magnum P.I., you guys know that's kind of what they were referencing there. But it's really cool getting Chip and Dale action figures with these styles. I absolutely love them. So like Darkwing there, the fedora that Chip is wearing is part of the head sculpt. It's non-removable. You cannot pull that off. His jacket does seem to be a separate piece, but it's not really meant to come off. It's not super flexible. It's actually kind of hard, so I wouldn't fight trying to pull that off there. Articulation on these guys, you got the head that turns left and right. You got the shoulders. You got the bends at the elbow. You actually do have waist swivels there. You can actually see the cut on Chip. Dale's is actually lower and hidden by the shirt there, which is really cool. And then the legs move in a similar fashion to what we saw with Baloo. And again, there's only one way to keep them standing flat foot, so that's the only way you're really going to pose those legs around most likely. They also come packaged with zipper, or Dale comes packaged with zipper, which is a really nice addition. He's bright, he's colorful, he looks just like the cartoon. He is non-articulated, so this guy just stands there. But hey, I'd rather have him than not have him, and this is a pretty cool little set there. So lastly, that brings us to arguably the most popular character in this first series, Uncle Scrooge, Scrooge McDuck from DuckTales. We all love DuckTales. Always has been one of my absolute favorite Disney cartoons, and I love this figure. I absolutely love Scrooge McDuck. I've always been a big fan of him, just in general, but of course DuckTales was a big part of that. And this figure looks wonderful. Perfectly captures the look of the cartoon series there. He's wearing the blue jacket like he did in the cartoon. Great colors there with the reds and the yellows all highlighting that. Love the spats on his duck feet. I always thought that was so great that he had that. He's got his top hat on. It is part of the head sculpt, so that is non-removable. One of the things that I love is he's got the glasses on his duck bill, and they are made of translucent plastic, so they actually look like glasses sitting on his bill, and it works wonderfully. So all around, they did a wonderful job of capturing the animated look of the character in action figure form. His articulation, of course, very similar to the rest. You can swivel him there kind of at the waist above the way the coat billows out. His legs can rotate similar to everybody else's. I will say that he seems to be the one that's got the hardest problem standing. If you don't find the right position, he's a little top heavy because of that top hat there. He's also the only figure that comes with 2 accessories, which is pretty sweet. So he's got his cane, his signature cane, which he holds best there in his right hand, gets a great grip on it, and he's got a bag of money. It would have been cool to see the lucky dime. I understand that would have been really, really tiny, so I'm totally cool with a bag of money. Definitely gets the point across. And there we go, a really fun Uncle Scrooge figure to add to our Disney shelves. So there you go, my friends, a wonderful, wonderful first series of Disney Afternoons figures from Funko. Guys, I totally love these. I really do. I think they are well designed. They are solid. They have bright, vibrant colors, great paint deco, and it's just such a fun character selection to see in action figure form. Like I said, we've seen some stuff in the past with Darkwing Duck, but a lot of those figures never even came out. They got canceled. So, I mean, gosh, the potential, guys. There are so many characters that I know already are running through our heads that we would love to see Funko get to. So let's hope that there's a second series, because who doesn't want a Gizmo Duck finally? Huh? Gizmo Duck would be incredible. Or come on, Launchpad. Or the 3 boys, Huey, Dewey, and Louie, that'd be great. We're only 2 team members away from getting the rest of the Rescue Rangers, so let's get Monterey and Gadget in there. Gosh, what about all of those villains? What about a Fat Cat? What about Magica Dispel? I could go on and on about all of the characters I would love to see in a Disney Afternoons lineup. And what about the cartoons we haven't even seen yet? Let's get some gummy bears in here. We need gummy bears toys. Oh, so much potential. As you guys can see, I'm very excited about these. I think they are a lot of fun, and I'm hoping that we get even more because, as I said in the beginning, this right here is truly a dream line for a longtime fan of the Disney Afternoons cartoon series. Special thanks again to the folks over at Funko for sending these along so we can get a good look at them outside of the package. I believe these are slated to start hitting shops in November, so happy hunting, my friends. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, leave me a comment, and let me know what you think. And don't forget to subscribe for more reviews just like this one. Until next time,